What is going on, everyone? We are back with another Best Bet show. Not your typical football season live show. We are full on into NBA. We will be doing more of these throughout the season as we kind of got back on schedule after football season. As always, me, Matty Chucks, with Austin's Props and Alex Caruso. Austin, how you feeling today, brother?
Dude, I missed you guys. It's been a while. We were pretty busy with that Super Bowl and then kind of slowed down. But hey, we're picking it back up with NBA. We got baseball right around the corner, spring training starting. I know you're excited, Matt. I saw your video. The vibes are up, man. This is all low key one of my favorite times of the year. I know I say that with NFL and NBA when they're both going, but I love when that first opening day for baseball, while you still have an NBA slate, you can drop 4 or 5 plays each and you just let it ride. You know what I mean? If you have a bad MLB day, you come and dominate NBA. So I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Hey,
I'm so
Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I love Mondays more than probably any human being on the planet. We talk about this pretty much every time we do a show. I just love the start of the week. I love watching basketball, watching plays. No one has plans on Mondays unless you're playing in a men's league, averaging 15 points a game, like one of my co-hosts. So I love watching basketball pretty much every single Monday, and I'm excited for today too.
Absolutely. Listen, nothing gets the juices flowing than a Monday night men's league basketball game when you got some people who can't walk and chew gum at the same time, and other people think John Calipari's in the stands about to get drafted in the first round. So I'll be doing that later. It sucks that it's on when the games are on, but the one game I'm nervous about that I can't watch is this Pacers Raptors game. We all have some plays in this game. I'll let Austin talk about his play first. Do you have a couple or just one in this game, Austin?
In this game, I have just one. So I'm on Benedict Matherin, 22.5 PRA. Was able to jump on it. It's at 23.5 now with the Aaron Neesmith ruled out news. I posted about 30 minutes before. So if you were following with notifications on, you definitely secured that, which is awesome. I love the spot when he plays 30 plus minutes, which he's done in both the last 2 games. He's covered in, I'm pulling up my write up right now. He's covered in 11 of 13 games this season when he's played 30 plus minutes, 85%. He went 5 for 14 and 5 for 13 in the last 2 games and still went over his 22.5 PRA line. Like, dude was inefficient and still had the volume and had the PRA opportunities to cover a line. His rebound chances, 13, leading the team in the last 2 games, which is awesome. He's clearly putting an emphasis, which good way to draw more minutes, show hustle. Carlisle loves that. We've targeted Neesmith prior for stuff like that, and it shows, so the minutes are going to be there. And 5.2 assist opportunities. So I mean, you could get lucky and get three of 5 and get 3 assists there. So I love the upside. I like his RA. I know you're on that, so you can go into that. But I just think the PRA, he's due for an efficient shooting night, especially with the upside to be able to cover a line off a 5 for 14 shooting night.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on his RA over 6.5. That line is now it's minus 145, jumping back up and down. I love the rebound chances. To me, that was huge. His shot volume is a shot volume, though. He's talking his trash. He's going to pull it from 3. He kind of has a great arsenal of things he can kind of rely on to score. And honestly, anyone on the floor with Tyrese Halliburton is a threat to score because he's not going to shoot a ton and he's going to set up his teammates. And talk about shooters that can shoot in this starting lineup. It's Benedict Mathurin. I mean, Siakam can score, Turner can score, but when you look about a guy who's gonna put up volume, it's gonna be Benedict Mathurin. So I like the points. I like the PRA. I did RA just because I thought it was a low line for me, but I think PRA any day of the week as well. And you're right. If he has an average shooting night, he's gonna soar over. So I'm all on Benedict Mathurin. Everything. Another play I'm on is RJ Barrett over PRA. He just had 35. The line is 29.5. We all know the Pacers give up so many points in the paint. That's where RJ Barrett lives. He literally can't shoot anymore, and he shouldn't. He lives at the rack. He gets to the line. He gets the job done. For me, that's going to be a point of emphasis. And with the rebounding opportunities, Pirtle's going to get drawn out. It's going to be Scotty Barnes. It's going to be RJ Barrett. For me, that's what I like there. And then I also am on Gary Trent under 12.5 points. Both times he faced the Pacers, had less than 10 field goal attempts. And when he takes less than 10 field goal attempts, it is literally not pretty whatsoever. He's under in 23 of 26 games when he takes less than 10 field goal attempts. So for me, if he shoots the lights out, he shoots the lights out. But for me, I'm not feeling Gary Trent. And we all talked about a lot of plays here, and Alex has more for you. So, Alex, talk about what your plays are in this game.
Yeah, I mean, my play of the day is Pascal Siakam over 21.5 points. He averages 23.5 on 0 rest games, a very rare player that's better after playing the day before. He's been over in both games that he's played so far this year for the Pacers in back-to-back games. But the biggest reason I like him is the Raptors have been awful against small forwards and power forwards. They've been bottom 10 over the last 30 days, but they've been top 5 against point guards, shooting guards, and centers, which are 3 positions Pascal Siakam never plays. It's a revenge game against the Raptors, easiest matchup on the court at all times. I love him, but I hate Miles Turner in this game. I think that he's going to go under. He's 0 for 9 when playing against Jakob Poeltl on the Raptors, and he's been close a few times on that line, but Miles Turner's been a lot worse in back-to-back games. Line's risen a little bit, and I just don't think that he's going to get there, especially in a matchup he's had no success in, and especially right now when you look at the fact that it's a back-to-back game and Miles Turner is significantly worse in those games.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think we could all sweep this game as long as there's no blowout. It's high total games. You got to worry a little bit. It's a close-ish spread, but honestly, if a 244.5 total stays close, there's a lot of room for a lot of us to cash big here. Next game, if anyone has any questions here, this guy said Caruso fire. This guy said Austin props is fucking big time, baby. So we got some love there.
That's my roommate showing love.
Oh, there we go.
That's fire.
Steve Kerr's son or something. God damn. I was like, we get some love over there.
Yeah, that's
we got Pistons Knicks. Any plays in this game from either of you guys? I didn't touch it. One thing I was gonna do was looking at Jaden Ivey, either as points or as threes. Didn't pull the trigger, but do any of you guys have Pistons Knicks plays?
I do. Yeah.
You go first, AP.
Yeah, I'm playing Ozzer Thompson. Basically, it's just a spot where if he plays 27 minutes, he's hitting 23 of 25 games, 16.5 PRA. I like his 17.5 PRA at plus money, but I would play the juice at 16.5. I posted it last night. I played it against the Knicks on Friday over 18.5. The dude had 12 PRA, 4 for 4 from the field, but picked up 5 fouls, of course. So foul trouble costed that one part of it. But I think this is a great spot. 11-point spread. I'm hoping it stays close enough, but I think just with the minutes there, Isaiah Stewart's in jail for assaulting Drew Eubanks. So I think there's a good chance that Ozzer's going to play good minutes. He's playing the power forward right now. Obviously, he's not a power forward, but the rebound opportunities are there. They're playing smaller ball. It's a fast-paced game. Just a lot of ways it could go over, and I'm going to trust the hit rate with the minutes there.
Yeah, I think in that same game, I'm going to be taking the under for Jalen Duran. Hopefully, Ozzer Thompson ends up going over. So that means that Duran might go under. But I like him because I think there's just a lot in this game that he's going to have to overcome. He's never beaten this line in 4 career games against the Knicks. He had 24 PRA in the first game they played. I'm taking him under 26.5 PRA. But he is the worst matchup on the court at all times. The Knicks have been a top 5 toughest team against centers over the last month, but they have been an average or worse team against the other 4 positions. So toughest matchup, never beaten against the Knicks. He's always a potential for foul trouble. It's a 10.5 point spread for this game. It's the highest spread of the day, which means there could be blowout trouble. Like obviously he could go over, but I just think there's going to be so many different things that he's going to have to overcome to find a way over tonight.
I agree. I think Hartenstein should get a little more burn too, which would cause a little more trouble for him. This game's interesting. I think if it's close, there's a lot of value, but the always worry in NBA games, as we know, is the always lurking blowout. So again, if that stays somewhat close, and again, a blowout, I think for you guys, for those plays with these lines, as long as they're not down 30, 35 going to the fourth, where they just don't play the fourth, I think everything's in play.
And it's the NBA. You can't predict spreads. If you like to play it. The game. This is the least competitive league of all of sports in the regular season. The games don't matter. The Spurs are 17-point dogs, and they'll come out and win. Like we've seen Boston lose at home to the Wizards or whatever. Like spreads don't matter. If you like a play it. Obviously, you shouldn't look for minus 15-point spread stuff all the time. But if you're playing a play just because of spread or worried about blowouts, you're going to miss tons of good plays.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of a non-blowout game, but a pretty ugly game, is Nets Grizzlies. Austin, I know you're the only one that has played in this game. I wasn't touching this with a 60-foot pole. There's definitely value, but for me, I just can't stomach it. Tell us why you love what you love in this game.
Yeah, for me, I like targeting games where a lot of the community aren't on. A lot of the money's not there. I think you can find value in props where they're not popular because people are scared to touch them. It's a 1.5 point spread, like close game. And I just don't think either of these teams are good enough to blow each other out. I think it's kind of just like a dirt back and forth type game that stays gross. But that's why I think the lines are where they are. I like Cam Thomas, 22.5 PA. He's had like 16 straight games of 25% usage, so the ball is going to be in his hands. When he's played 30 minutes, he's hitting 20 of 27 this year. He hit in 5 of 5 last year. So the minutes are there. He's coming off 2 poor shooting performances, kind of the same with a play I talked about earlier with Matherin. I like targeting inefficient guys on bounce backs. His numbers are down. It's a difficult matchup on paper, but like I said, like, they're playing so many different guys, this Grizzlies team, so it's really hard to project who's out there and who's going to affect this matchup. You know what I mean? 22.5 points seems like a really good spot for me.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree. I think that you're not going to want to watch the game, but I think that I think that plays will cash no matter what. And this is a small slate, so we're just going to go through one more. Heat Kings. I think there is value in this game. Kings on the back-to-back. Heat without Jimmy Butler. Do any of you guys have any plays in this game?
Yeah, we absolutely do. We tag teamed. I have this as a GOAT play, which I don't put out very often, which means like one of the greatest plays that I've seen. I'm taking Domantas Sabonis under 43.5 PRA. I know AP is taking the same. Biggest reason I'm taking him is he averages 36 PRA in 0 rest games. And he's under in 7 of 7 this year. When they don't go to double overtime, he had 1 0 rest game. They went to 2 overtime against the Magic, but only 2 of the 92 power forwards and small forwards to start. Power forwards and centers to start against Bam Adebayo went over this year. It's an insanely inflated line versus his back-to-back averages. The Heat are a top 10 toughest matchup versus centers. Almost no one's done it this season. It's got blowout potential because the Kings are favored by a lot and almost everyone's out for the Heat. And then obviously in back-to-back games, regardless of the averages, he's been under in every game that didn't go to a double overtime.
Yeah, exactly. And to go further on it, a lot of for me, the only way this one goes significantly over is if Sabonis is obviously efficient and goes 9 for 10 from the field, something like that, which would suck. We have Bam guarding him. I think that's unlikely. Heat are one of the best teams at avoiding offensive rebounds allowed. So that's where Sabonis does most his damage. And Sabonis gets a lot of rebounds off teams that shoot mid-ranges. Who's out? Jimmy Butler's out. That's the one guy on Miami that shoots mid-ranges. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. Duncan's going to be out there firing. Tyler Herro is going to fire a ton. Obviously, Bam could pick up some fouls on Sabonis. I just think there's way too many ways this goes over or goes under. Like, if Sabonis comes out and gets rebounds, we're probably toast. But with it at 14.5, I think it's likely we see him go under the 14.5 rebound line. It seems like a great spot. They have to keep him out the glass. And both these teams are not fast-paced. Miami, one of the slowest-paced teams. And Sacramento, you always think about being fast-paced. They're middle of the pack. They're really not that fast-paced. They play a lot of half-court offense. I'm hoping they shoot efficient from 3. We need Keegan Murray. We need Herter, Fox to have good games. And I just don't think there's enough possessions for Sabonis to go over. There's just way too many ways I could see this going under, which is why we're targeting it.
I agree. I also think Sabonis, he's either going to facilitate or he's going to score. Like the odds of him doing both is, I think, highly unlikely in this situation. So I think PRA is a good route to take because I think if he has 14 plus assists, he doesn't even sniff north of 15 points, which I think is what you're looking for in this spot. I do have a play in this game as well, and it's the scariest one. There are probably 2 players that I just hate betting on, and that's Michael Porter Jr. and Keegan Murray, and I'm betting on Keegan Murray tonight over his points. So wish me luck. I didn't want to get into it, but the bottom line is his home road splits are insane. The Heat allow a lot of catch and shoot threes, and that's what he lives off of. I think, Bam's going to be on Sabonis. I think he's going to have a little bit of, a little bit less of defensive focus on him. And if he shoots somewhat efficient, I think the score is over. I think this is a very low line at 13.5, so I took it. Again, it's either going to be really sweaty or he's going to have 20. There's going to be really no in between there.
Spot on. Keegan Murray, I was eyeing all morning, to be honest. I love that spot. it goes hand in hand with Sabonis. Usually, if Murray's cooking, Sabonis isn't as much offensively, So I would love, obviously, we'll give up. Like for Alex and I, we would rather Sabonis have 15 assists than,
100%.
you know what I mean? Because if he's facilitating, there's just not enough shots. I'll live with assists. The points are going to kill us. So I think that goes hand in hand. If Keegan's 2 for 11, like he has done sometimes, Sabonis is probably going to be doing pretty well on the other side. So we're very correlated today, Chucks.
Yeah, I think the other part of this game that's interesting though is like for the King side, at least, maybe not as much for Keegan Murray. Actually, sorry, it is Keegan Murray. Is that the two positions the Heat defend the worst are point guards and small forwards. They're actually like the top 3 team in allowing points to centers, power forwards, and shooting guards this month, but they've been middle of the pack or really bad against point guards lately, which is going to help Fox, I think, and Keegan Murray to cook the most. Well, I think Herter, Harrison Barnes, and especially Sabonis are going to struggle the most today.
I agree. I like the board today. I'm not gonna lie, boys. Short, small slate, but I like it. And let's hope we can come back to one of these shows and recap this exact episode. That's it for me. Any other questions from guys in the chat? This guy said hero over 2.5. Or I'm assuming that means hero. And they're talking in the chat about Bam over 3.5 assists. Super juiced, but I like that spot as well.
I think that's like minus 180 now, yeah?
Yeah, it's minus 150 on DK, but yeah, other places.
Gotcha.
But either way, that's it. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. We'll do this again very soon. Thank you guys who are in the chat and are watching. We'll do this more consistently moving forward. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Best of luck on your bets today. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.